welcome to Sweetheart. Before I say I do, I am so excited to have this fabulous woman with me, Camille St. Charles, the best-selling author of this fabulous book called Coffee Fairy Tales. It is super, super sexy. It charges your imagination and fantasy and all that stuff that's required in the love relationship to keep it fiery and exciting and a desire and passion to rush right into your lover and just be fulfilled. And so, taking center stage and owning it with me is Camille. Come on with me.
Hello, everyone.
How
Hello.
are you? How are you?
I am doing
I
well.
love those fingers.
It's like, oh, yes,
Mhm.
yes. You never know what's going on.
Yes, yes, yes. So talk to us about. Listen, we have to show the audience this fabulous cover. We're going to flash it up a few times because it is absolutely stunning and gorgeous, classic beyond measure, time transcending. Look at that, beautiful, beautiful, sexy queen.
Thank you
And
so
so,
much for
talk to us
talking
about coffee.
fairy
Yeah.
tale.
So talk to us. Yes, let's see it.
Let me see. Let me see. Is
No,
it
bring
this
it
one?
out. Just a little. I know, I know. Come on. There you go. It
Oh,
is absolutely gorgeous. What a
oh,
beautiful book. Flip
thank
in some
you.
of those pictures. The inside of that thing is just equally as gorgeous.
Oh, definitely. Oh, let me show you the version of me, the fairy godmother in me that wrote the book.
Oh, that is so beautiful. Love it.
And then
Love
these are
it.
seven different stories, seven different faces. I used to be a coffee vendor, and I got this novel idea from the Lord to turn the coffee into people and allow them to tell a love story. And then I said, well, we're better than to fall in love than over a cup of coffee. And coffee knows some of the mysteries of life because it's all over the world. People tell any and everything as they're sitting there blowing their coffee, trying to cool it down. They're telling secrets. And coffee is like, I have a story to tell too. If I was a person, this is a love story that could possibly be happening for me. So that's how the idea was birthed out into the universe. God whispered it to me. I got it. And I was like, okay. It took me a moment to come up with the ideas, but uh, the majority of the ideas showed up in the midst of COVID because we all had to quarantine and stay inside and all this other stuff. So I was afforded the luxury to sit still and I just put on my imagination crown and I sat down and wrote seven different love stories in the voices of coffee. So
Mm, mm, mm. So, in the Voices of Coffee, so share with us a couple of the titles.
uh the first coffee is the one that got the whole thing started is House Blend. She is the original coffee. And there's nothing added to her. She is coffee in its purest essence. So, but she's a lady who believes that everybody's just using her. So she considers herself plain and ordinary and average. But this gentleman saw the magnificence in her and he decided that he was going to take a chance and speak to her. And she's like, but I'm house blend. I'm original. There is nothing fancy about me. And he
Oh,
said, everybody else or all your siblings are substitutions. You are the original. I want the original. So
oh,
I don't
yeah.
need anything with all of the additives. I don't need all of that fancy. I like you in your purest form. And they got to have a encounter with one another that was just magnificent. So
Oh, wow. Sounds magnificent. I love the whole concept, the ideology behind it. And just saying something that's to someone else may be ordinary, but someone else can see the extraordinary in the ordinary.
Yeah.
And that's just like men who like women who don't wear makeup, they're not fancy. You got a lot of men out there that like that. And so that's really, 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 really good. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. And so I'm going to ask you, you're a best-selling author, but in order for you to do that, in order for you to write a story like that, you have to have some kind of insight as to why these books are necessary. Why are these stories necessary for couples, for single people who are looking to become or get into a love relationship? Why are these stories so important?
Well, actually, the stories are for people of a certain age who believe that love has forgotten about them, that love passed them by in some situation in their life. You know how you had that first love, and you have constantly and actively been searching and seeking for that feeling that you had during that first love, but it never shows up. Although you've been married, you might be a widower, you're divorced, you're remarried 2 or 3 times down the road. That initial feeling of the love or the love that has evolved is what we were hungering for. So I decided to give the stories to older people that have battle scars. I didn't want it to be given to the prepubescent youngsters, not dismissing or discounting them, but they have not been through some of the battles that older people have been through. But they still, in their mind, they still are desiring that love that never really reciprocated, that never showed up or forgot about them. Like you might have gotten a glimpse of love as she was passing, but you never really encountered her. And that's where the stories start. Love is like, I never forgot about you. And it doesn't make a difference, your age. I'm still here. I'm going to give you that. I'm going to let you rediscover me. So that's how the idea was birthed out into the universe, the rediscovering of love for people of a certain age. Because everybody in the book is middle age. And middle age, I think the eldest is up to like 65 or 70. That's the oldest person. The youngest person, I believe, is like 35, 40. And that's it. I wanted people that have uh, encountered and experienced some things. And and love does not look like love that they talk about in some people's lives. It's a different look. It's a different feel. And so when love walks in the door, the characters in the book, they finally recognize, oh, you've been here all along. It's just I never really saw you. And even if it's just love of self, or even if it's a love that just was there for a momentary relationship and then it's gone, it still came back to sit and hold court with you and have a cup of coffee and enjoy what you have.
Oh, that sounds so good. And I'm going to charge younger people to read and get the book because this is what you know that you may have missed out on. You can learn some things on the quality of the love relationship and looking for the characters or the signs
Hmm.
that we kind of pass by. Like so we like you said, you know, middle age, you've gone through some things, and some things. The reason why we lose that passion is because we get so caught up in responsibility that we fail to balance passion and responsibility. I was having a conversation, during another interview, and I said the one thing we want to hold on to is intimacy. We always talk about intimacy of the mind, being getting along, being friends. Well, no, you need to be lovers and friends equally, equally, equally. We get so responsible that we lose that childlike, that innocence, that is about the courtship of love when you're younger. That's why when people are in their 20s, they're so quick to get married. They don't weigh all of the responsibilities of the world on their decision. They weigh it on how they're feeling about one another, and that's where we lose it. And that's where you have such high divorce rates, because you're not having fun. And this right here causes you to have fun. Get back to the fun things, because that's your health. This has a lot to do with your mental health and wellness. We talked about, and I say this all the time, what people don't realize is that you have to, especially women who, withhold from sex, or they don't want to do it because they're always busy with, career and all this other stuff that just makes them so stiff and so corny. So you need to climax. You need to climax. You have to have that climax. You have to have that. That's a part of the natural cycling of your cells, your body. I'm not a gynecologist. I'm not a sexual expert. But what I do know and I tapped into was the reason why we're having menopause and things like that is because we have not had a vibrant sexual life. We've not had that, because we've been smacked and we've been tabooed about being sexy, and because you're fresh. I remember as a kid, because I had hazel eyes and I speak my mind. Everybody, she's fresh. No, I'm not. I'm not fresh. I speak my mind. I'm very honest. I'm very forthcoming, and a little probably older than my age as far as the level of wisdom. But it does not mean I'm fresh. It means that I know some things and I want to talk seriously at a younger age. But one thing I did know, and I'm thankful to God that I never lost, was that passion. That passion to want to kiss, suck face until you can't suck face no more. Like, that has never ever left me. I
Yes.
want to squeeze some booty. I
Yeah.
want to watch you from afar and get turned on and think about all the stuff I'm going to do when we're by ourselves. That's how you learn to stay young. Getting high smoking weed is not being young. It's actually gonna, suck the life out of you, and mess up your skin and all that other stuff. When you are engaging in love, and God created sex. So when you're engaging in this love, the only thing that you have to do according to the Lord is you got to be married. Other than that, he don't care. Go and have fun. Find out, explore, read books like the Coffee Fairy Tales, so that you get excited and get back to that place of romance, right? We got to get
Yes. Yes.
romantic up in here.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you become, after all the trappings of life, a lot of people become jaded. And some of the stories came from conversations that I had with my friends, and they were speaking of the lack in their life, and how one friend told me she had never had an orgasm. I just sat there. I was dumbfounded. And then I said, well, she said, well, I've had sex. I've been married 2 times, but I've never had an orgasm. And I said,
Mm,
well, why are you still married? She said, well, because I loved this one. I didn't love the first one like I needed to, you know.
mm.
She said, I love this one more so, but we've never explored one another's
And
bodies.
that's the problem. You're too busy looking elsewhere, and you need to take the time and have the needful conversation. Where do I like being touched? Do am I top, my bottom? Like, do I like my feet being rubbed? Rubbing my back? I want you to rub my back because I had a long day. Like rub my back, like loosen me up, make me melt in your arms, make me just surrender to you. And when you do that, oh my God, it's explosive. You satisfied. Now you're happy. Listen,
Mhm.
listen. When you smiling like you smiling like you smiling, somebody done took care of business, right?
Well, you need to be seen, and it's irrelevant if you tell someone your desires and they do not act upon it, or they act upon it for momentary pleasure, then they go back to doing the same old basic stuff. Then you really become jaded. And I have found that a lot of my people that I've encountered have been jaded. So that scar tissue is right there. It's internal and it's external. And it's like I won't allow anyone to get close to me because nobody really pays attention in love. They basically like love forgot about me years ago. She took her eyes off of me years ago. So why I'm just making peace with where I am. I never gave thought to going back and rediscovering love. And so after all of those needed conversations, I sat down and crafted some beautiful love stories. But the characters that are telling you these stories are actually coffee, saying,
Mm.
this is what is going on in my life, you know. So.
Because coffee hears it all, right?
Yep, coffee hears it all. Just like the trees hear all of the secrets of the world and the universe, and the wind whispers to the trees. Coffee hears all those secrets and all those things, those come what may conversations, and the ones that you want to have with people. But we all are so afraid of revealing ourselves and showing, showing our heart, because if I show you my heart, if I give it to you, if I pull it out and give it to you, and if you do not receive it the way that I want you to receive it, we're going to have a problem because
Mm.
I won't allow you to see it again. I'll be like, I wasted my time showing you the first time, so don't worry about it. And then,
Right.
that's where that scar tissue builds up and then it starts scabbing. And you be like, I'm not worried about love. That's overrated. And it's not overrated. Love is
Overrated.
never overrated. And love is tired of being dismissed and discounted also. So I put those two together, the lack of love and the abundance of love, and I came up with the stories.
Oh, that is beautiful. And you have men in your story. So audience, this is not just about women. There's
Yep.
some sexy men up in that book.
Three men, three strong, like they used to say, because I'm from Mississippi, they used to call them strapping bucks. And so these
Mhm.
are three strapping, good looking guys. And my first friend, he was the first one that said yes to one of the stories. And I said, you know how when you're trying to tell people of an idea that you're thinking of and you are unsure of how it's actually going over? I was telling my friend, who's one of my coffees in the book, I was asking him, would he consider being one of the faces? And he just said, yes. He said, anything for you, sweetheart. And this is him. His name is Michael, but his name in the book is Vaughn. Vanilla. Vanilla.
Wow.
And he said yes. And he didn't know what he was actually getting himself into, but he is happy with the book. He's happy the way that he was portrayed because I wrote the stories before I actually assigned the faces to it.
Mm.
The story was already there. I just needed human representation, and I didn't want to do AI. I wanted a real person, you know.
Right,
So
right, right.
I asked the three guys and the ladies, and they all said yes. So
Oh, that's beautiful. Well, let me tell you something. I can't wait to get my copy. It's beautifully put together. And they can go to your website, correct?
correct. They can go to coffeefairytales.com and you can go there and you can see all seven of the characters. You get to see a little summary of what the book is about. You get to experience the cover, the front and the back. You get to walk around on the inside for a minute. You know,
Ooh, I like that. Walk
world,
around, walk around.
you get to walk
And,
around.
and I'm going to charge, listen, couples read the book together.
Yes.
Read the book together. You shouldn't have to work hard at it, but you have to be creative. If you want to keep passion going, you've got to be creative. That's why it's so important for couples to be best friends. Because when you are best friends, you're not worried. There's that's an environment and a space that's filled with trust, protection,
Hmm.
security, peace of mind, resting. You can rest in a relationship. That's why it's so important. And don't withhold. You know, No one can hurt you unless you allow them to hurt you. And in the love relationship, we know that there are going to be disappointments, there's going to be unmet expectancies. But the way that you guard your heart is by truly, honestly not guarding it. Because what we do is we start putting barriers up, and then we're not authentic. And the next thing you know, we've got so many barriers that we don't even know who we are, and we barricaded ourselves in. And you're not living. You're not living. And so, in order for you to step into this beautiful world of, exotic fantasy and fulfillment, you have gotten to understand that in the love relationship there are going to be some disappointments, and when you sell yourself that, and you have to say to yourself that no matter what, I'm going to be true to myself, and I'm going to tell you, I live that every day. There's no way I'm going to love you and not tell you. There's no way.
Mhm.
There's not no way I'm going to want you and you not know it. I'm
Mhm.
not doing that. And I'm not
Yeah.
wanting everybody, and I'm not touching everybody, and I'm not telling everybody that I love them. But if you are the one that I truly love, you are going to know it. Now, what you do with that is on you. It's on you.
That's
It's
so
not
true.
on me.
That's
It's on you. But it's never going to take away from the value. If someone rejects you, it's not taking away from the value of you. They're just not for you. They don't get it. Kick the dust off your feet. You ain't got to be angry or mad, and keep it
yeah.
moving. Because you
Yeah.
want to keep yourself open for coffee fairy tales. You
You wanted
do
to
not
step out to be
want
real.
that. Yeah, you don't want to mess up your opportunity messing around with someone who don't get it. Don't ever dull your shine in the love relationship or any other relationship because folks don't get you. Keep on moving because if you keep moving, you're gonna get to the right one, baby. And you're gonna get to the one who's willing to read the book with, do the crazy stuff you like to do. You're gonna get to that one if you don't lose heart.
Yeah.
If you don't close up, you'll be open. And I'll tell you what, if you do close up, but you keep moving, that one who really wants you, just like the house blend, he gonna see the extraordinary in your ordinary. And he's gonna
Definitely.
see the extraordinary in your story. So would you mind just reading us a little excerpt from one of the, what's your favorite part? Just a little taste.
It's seven different stories. Which one?
I
You
don't
don't
know.
know?
You got
Okay.
this. Yeah, you
Well, I can tell you. I can tell you an excerpt from the story of Vanilla. Uh,
okay.
Vanilla, the guy. Uh, he is a bodyguard to a star who looks through him. She sees him as someone who just works for her. He keeps trying to stay in the background because he's there for her protection, but he's madly in love with her. And he even says out into the universe, if she would allow me, I would sleep at her feet because I am
Mhm.
in awe of this woman. But she treats me as if I am nothing. She's fired him several times. She's wanted to have him beat up because she just didn't like him. And she's fired him, but he has to keep going back because her family hired him to be the eyes and ears and to be the protection because danger is around every corner for this woman, even though
Wow.
she's a multi-famous individual. uh he just stays in the background, but something presented itself that he needed to step out of character and be the villain that the family hired him to be. And he had to make a love interest of the coffee aware that if they do not leave her alone, they will have to deal with him. And you don't want to deal with me. And when he was having this standoff with the love interest, he said, you don't even have any weapons on you. And he started smiling. Vanilla started smiling. He said, I don't need any weapons. I am a weapon. So He said, I don't need any
Wow.
accessories. I am the weapon, but I need you to be aware that if by chance you are not gone uh, by the end of the day, I will make you absent of this world. And then the guy that he was talking to, he said, absent. He was having a hard time understanding because he didn't say out loud what I'm going to
Right.
do to you. I'm just going to make you aware. You won't wake up the next day. You're going to be absent in this world.
Wow.
The love story between the two of them, it's kept secret in his heart because she doesn't care for him. But he says, as long as I am employed, I will serve her, to the best of my ability, and I'll never let anything harm her. So that's
Wow.
just a little summary of the story. It's
Wow.
multifaceted, and some of the characters in the stories are accessories, like
Mm.
it's like sugar or cream
Oh,
or whipped cream or cinnamon sprinkled on your coffee. So these are accessories that are woven inside of each and every story. So some people like their coffee just straight, some people like it with cream, some people like it with sugar and cream or five coffee, some people like it with honey. So all of the characters that show up inside of each one of the stories are actually accessories. I just took
wow.
the accessories of the coffee and turned them into people and I wove the story together. And it's like
Wow.
a big imagination feast. So that's what I felt as if I was coming up with it.
Well, it's amazing. From the content, which is extraordinarily, imaginary and filled with such level of detail,
Yeah.
uh, to the book itself. I mean, it's just the layout of it is gorgeous. And people, I'm waiting for my copy, but I saw the prototype live and in person when I was in the U.S. back in July, and it so intrigued me to say, "Oh my God, this is absolutely
That's how
stunning."
you felt when you first saw the book. You awestruck.
I, I was, yes, because I like, I don't know what you call it, but all of the kings and queens and
Uh-huh.
all of the wardrobe and then all of the intrigue that goes with that. People don't realize back in the day how women had to protect themselves, had how you as a woman had to rally with other women in other courtships to protect yourself. The
Hmm.
politics and all of that that went behind it. Women were afraid back in the
Hmm.
day. I mean, very, very afraid because at the shift of any kind of rulership, they could be like so mishandled. And I'm
Yes.
saying that mildly. And so all of the ambiance that goes with that and the mystery and the drama and all of that, to use royal characters the way that you do is so classic, so elegant, so gracious. And to do it under coffee fairy tales is, it's a high level of excellence. And I just
Cool.
can't wait to get I can't wait to get my coffee. But I'm not surprised. Look at you. You're gorgeous. I mean, you're gorgeous. You can see your backdrop. Everything is elegant about you. And it just pours over and just trickles over right into your work. So, Camille, it's been incredible. Any closing thoughts for our audience? How do they get the book? How do they follow you? Do you have any blogs? Do you have any newsletters? What do you have? How do they stay connected with you and stay inspired?
Well, you can follow me on all the social media platforms, Camille St. Charles, Mississippi, because I do have an alter ego. The alter ego that wrote this book is different than the alter ego that writes my other series. I tapped into a softer version of myself. And so you can just go to all social media platforms. You can go to coffeefairytales.com to secure your copy. You get to walk around, you get to see aspects of me, you get to see some of the trailers and the video clips of the advertisement, and know that this is just volume one. Coffee Fairy Tales volume 2 next year sometime, because there's going to be a cavalcade of success that we plan on riding the wave to. And I have been having the most fun. Coffee Fairy Tales is, I call her my baby, but I say she has great legs because she's sturdy, she's stable. She's like, she's not, you won't be able to push her over, like she's a pamphlet. She's like,
Mhm.
look at me. You don't have to struggle with me. It's a good read, but it's 7 different stories in here, and they all are different. And each one of the coffee steps up and tells the reader a love story. And I hope and I pray that you like and or
Aw.
love them, because I welcome you to the world and the experience of Coffee Fairy Tales.
Oh, awesome, awesome. That is so awesome. I would love it. And like I said, can't wait to receive my copy of it. I will be in the US later on this month, and I'm looking forward to grabbing it. And I will be reading it immediately so that I can be intrigued and full of fantasy and passion and all that good stuff. And I'm going to say to our audience, please get the copy. I don't care if you're middle age, young age. I
Yeah.
believe that it will bless you. What really gets us excited is to expand our imagination, and allow the passion and romance back in. And so this has been Sweetheart Before I Say I Do, and the love relationships, talking about everything pertaining to love. And we hope that our words have inspired you to go and get the book, Coffee Fairy Tale. Thank you so much, Camille, for being with us today. And everybody have an amazing weekend. We're out.
Thank you. Bye bye.